Are we going?
We're going.
We're going.
Is Backstreet back?
All right.
We are back to another episode of
Serving you. Backstreet's back.
All right. Are we going to get copyright infringement?
100 because we sound just like them. So 100%.
We've changed nothing either. Not the harmony, nothing.
No, they're gonna take all of our percentage of our
nothing.
Dozens of views so far.
Are they going to take our market share of Japan and Germany?
By the way, yeah, welcome Japan and Germany.
Yes, thank you for watching. We
Tell a
greatly
friend.
appreciate it.
We do.
Tell all of your countrymen over there in Europe and Asia.
Because they serve over there too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So new topic. My turn.
Yes, today is Melissa's turn.
Yes. So, and when I pose
I like
this
that
topic,
jumper, by the way.
thanks.
I got very distracted by sparkly. So
Wait,
Well,
are we doing our
sparkles?
Valentine's Day episode?
No, I just like hearts. Nope. I just
she's
like
just serving love.
bread. Thank you. I serve love.
She does, actually.
You were going
She
to say
does.
spread something, and I thought
I
serving
do that
something
too.
sounded better.
Okay, so with my question though, I would like Matt for you to give me a perspective from the customer because I have a good juicy topic and I want to hear from the other side.
Oh, boy.
Hear
I
me
know.
from the other side.
There,
Sorry.
we reference that too. All right, so my question is, when you go to a restaurant and you've never been there before and you order something, that's good, you break
Oh,
it quick.
Jeffrey.
Yeah, I'm dropping water
Can't
on
take you anywhere, can we?
We're good. I went in to clean up on aisle 1.
I'm Madonna Mia.
All right, we're good. Yeah, we're good. Keep going. Sorry.
Okay, back.
Sorry,
We're back.
good. Sorry.
So you go to a new restaurant and you decide to try something on the menu. Or maybe you're at a restaurant you've always gone to, but you try something new and you get it and you don't like it. Not that it's prepared wrong, like you order a steak and you ask for it mid-rare and it comes out medium. Totally understand that. But it's not seasoned to your liking or you just don't like it.
You sure?
Are you as a customer allowed to give that back to the restaurant and expect a full refund? Because
I love that question.
oh my
I
God,
wouldn't.
can I just tell you a story?
Please do.
I had a table a couple months ago and they'd never been to my restaurant before and they ordered fried shrimp with some sides and fried chicken and a bunch of other food. My restaurant has huge portions. So they get all of this food and the wife says after she eats a shrimp, I don't like these. They weren't seasoned enough. I would like you to take them back. I said, was there something wrong with them? Like, are they bad? Is there anything other than they weren't seasoned? Because obviously there's salt and pepper on your table,
Right.
and you can probably season them better. She said, no, I just don't like them. I shouldn't have to pay for them. I said, I don't know. You know, I went to management. We're not going to say what he said. I went back to the table because I'm not throwing anybody under a bus. I go back to the table and I said, well, ma'am, maybe in the future you just don't order this again and I'll get you a to-go box. She said, oh, no. I mean, it was like we were about to fight at the table.
Right.
It was really bad. They got really upset with me. I couldn't go back to the table. My manager came over, who then flipped script and took her side. And I was right under the bus.
As you do.
It wasn't cool. But the main focus is that question. Do you, as a customer, feel like it's right that if you don't like something at a restaurant, you shouldn't have to pay for it?
All right, so I have two answers.
Oh, good.
If it's a seasoning question, see, that's where all right, for me, that's where it gets a little cloudy. That's where it gets murky. Because what I consider to be well seasoned, someone else might not consider that to be well seasoned.
Well, let's say, too, we're in a diner that serves
Yeah.
pancakes and bacon. You're not in a 4-star restaurant where you're getting, like, filet mignon with a chimichurri sauce and you think that there's too much pepper in it. So
Yeah.
keep going.
So if it's a, and also I side with you that if it's and plus it's shrimp, unless you
Well,
have
customer's
some
perspective, though, like you as a customer, how would you?
Okay, if I were to 100% put my customer hat on,
Please.
If it's a seasoning question, that makes it a little iffy because then it depends on the seasoning. But if it's something that I just do not like, then no, I don't expect to get anything because, you know, it's like I'm not a huge fan, well, I'm not a fan, period, of salmon
Okay.
at all.
Fair.
Unless it's in a salmon patty, but that's a completely different episode. So if I go, what?
Just one more time for the close-up. Say it again. Say the fish again.
You stop. You can pronounce the L. Keep going.
Salmon.
We'll have an online poll how it's actually pronounced, but go on.
So, let's say just to give an example, if I were to go to a restaurant, I'm like, oh, maybe my taste buds changed overnight. Let me order the salmon. And I get it. And, oh, shocker, I don't care for it. Then I'm not going to be like, hello, you need to take this away. I'm not paying for it. No,
Exactly.
That was a decision that I made knowing full and well that I do not care for salmon, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And the same goes if it's something that I'm not familiar with. Mm-hmm. If I go to a restaurant, let's say I'm at an ethnic restaurant. Let's say it's Ethiopian food or it's Peruvian food or it's Korean food. If I'm at a restaurant and I'm not 100% sure what it is or what it's going to taste like, and I order it and I don't care for it, that's on me. That is not on the server and it's not on the restaurant. That's on me. Now, what I would do in that situation is I would box it up to go, and maybe there's someone else who would want it, or maybe I can do something with it at home that would make it more palatable for me.
Exactly.
But no, I'm not going to, stomp my feet and say I'm not paying for this.
Demand.
Yeah, no.
It's amazing. Okay.
I'll hit it from a manager side. So, my rule of thumb, the broad rule of thumb for me was always how much did they eat? How
Right.
much did they eat? Because I've had people eat 80% of a meal
And say
then say I don't like it.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that.
And as a manager, I'm not going to give you that refund.
Right.
That's not happening. You could have made that decision first bite in. So, as on a manager side, you don't like it. What can we get for you instead? And I'm going to eat that. If they had one shrimp off of it and they immediately were like, I don't care for it, as a manager, I would say, let's get you what you want. But I'm working in different style places.
Right.
Trying to think when I worked more diners type places what it would have been like. But that's my rule of thumb has generally been just take care of the customer.
That's always management's
food
rule of
cost.
thumb,
Food
yeah.
cost is going to go. You have that built in. There's a reality to you're supposed to have a bit of a buffer for those type things. You're going to run into that. You don't want to. So it's always I base it on percentage eaten type thing. Just because management is not necessarily worth the fight all the time. Now, that changes in different instances. Are they being a complete dick to my server? Well, then we have a different problem type thing. And so, all of that does weigh in. There's times when there's something that I could have, as a manager, handled super easily and just forgiven. But because they were being a dick to one of my servers, I
Dug in.
Oh, I had a guy go to the food and beverage director and say that I should be fired. And this is the same year that I won Manager of the Year. So it was like, I don't think I'm being fired due to you, man. But it's because he was being a complete asshole to my bartenders. And it was over something as simple as he'd been down. So this example is not about food, but just as an example of kind of how being a customer, being nice can change a lot of things. This was coming out of COVID, bit of restrictions, and at the hotel you had to have a wristband on to be able to order food. And we were all learning different ways of doing things, and people were getting annoyed at the processes we had, but listen, they were there, we were doing the best we can in what we knew type thing. And he did not have his wristband on. And my bartender was following the rules.
Yeah, exactly.
I can't serve you a drink. You don't have a wristband on. And he's like, just laying into him. And the guy's like, I've been down for the past 3 days. You've seen me. And so he's making a scene. I go out there. I've seen the guy the past 3 days. I recognize him. As a manager, I could be like, listen, I recognize you. Listen, but he's being a dick. So you know what I'm doing? Sir, that's the policy. You should have a wristband on. I've been down the past 3 days. Okay, so then you know the policy.
Yeah, right.
Because you've been dealing with it for the past 3 days. So you've had it on the past 3 days. So today you just forgot it. So I just kept telling him, I kept saying, I'm sorry you feel that way. So I said that probably 7 times to him, because every time he started to walk away and he was like, I'm done with this. And he turned his back to me and I go, I'm sorry you feel that way, sir. And he would stop in his tracks and turn around and want to swing on me.
Oh, you kept poking him.
And then he'd get everything off his chest and go to walk away. And I'm sorry you feel that way. And
Jeff.
But it was at the point, like, don't be a dick to my employees.
Yeah.
Like, this is what it feels like, sir. And guess what? I'm the one that's going to control whether you get a drink or not.
That's what a manager should do, is protect their employees.
So, yeah, when it came to food, that was always my rule of thumb is, and again, we'll have a chef on at some point, and he may feel differently because they're the ones eating the cost. They're the ones eating,
I get real protective,
but,
and maybe it's just me, I don't know, over the food that I serve and stuff. And
but you treat it as if it's your own money, which is a lot of servers don't do that, by the way.
Dude, I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, how do you miss-season fried shrimp, babe? Like, I don't even understand that.
Yeah.
I think it was more, they just wanted what was on the table, but whatever.
And that's where, as a server, I think you can get more. And always before I ever approached a table as a manager, I would talk to the server first.
Right.
And because a server's perspective of the table, you understand the vibe better.
That's fair.
You understand where they're, because you've been at that table a little bit.
Yeah.
So if your instinct was telling you they ordered too much food.
Yeah.
And they just didn't want to pay for this because they didn't need it. And if that's what you told me, I'm going over to that a bit different.
Exactly.
Do you know what I'm saying? So that's where I say, broad stroke, how much of the food did you eat? If you ate over 50%, I'm probably going to charge you for it because you've eaten most of the meal. Mm-hmm. That's not a reality. We're not going to, or maybe I'll half off. I'll do, there'll be a percentage that I can work out or not, depending on how much you eat. But if there's a perspective from a server that's saying, this is what's probably happening, then I go into that very differently.
Yeah, with a different approach.
And that's kind of the secret to restaurants is, servers have the lay of the land. They really know what's happening at the tables. And that's where it's important for customers to be nice to them. But it's also, when customers think like, I'm going to get my way with management, understand management's going to that, if they should, they're going to go to that server first and be like, I want your perspective before I go there.
Because you can give the house away on food.
Yeah, and also, don't get me wrong,
smokes.
there are times that the server is wrong.
Of course.
There's times that the server's having a bad day, and I'll get information from the server, and I'll go to the table and be like, that is not the case.
Right, no, that's
These
fair.
people are not bad people at all.
Yeah.
The server's just being a jerk to you. So that's all really case by case, but yeah.
Did you find though that certain servers had that theme? Like you just knew like, oh, this is so-and-so's table. There's probably some miscommunication. Or this is so-and-so's table. I know she's got her shit together.
Yeah, no, and there was definitely servers who were quick to comp things when it didn't need to be comped.
Exactly.
And that's the other thing. And I would always try to tell people, like, listen, you don't need to give everything away. Guess what? If you give 20% off that check or 20% off that dish, that's something that the customer could still be happy with, and then we haven't lost a ton.
Yeah.
Like there's ways to do it, but there was, and supervisors. I mean, a good friend of mine, Kevin, when he became a supervisor for me and worked for me at the 3-meal-a-day restaurant that we had at the hotel, man, he just started comping stuff, and because he didn't like confrontation.
Yeah.
And I don't think, because he came from Starbucks, and I don't think he knew the concept of like.
You can't be confrontationally adverse though in service.
No, you need to be able to talk.
That.
Yeah, you need to be able to be in a situation.
For sure.
So I learned that by dealing with people getting their rebates when I worked at Office Depot. I was a customer service manager. This was back when you had to mail in your rebates for like you bought a printer and you get like $100 off, but you had to mail it in. And if you didn't fill it in right, Epson wasn't going to give it to you, type thing. And so for a good while in my life at that job, I just had people yelling at me.
That's fun. That's a fun job.
And one of my coworkers was like, Jeff, how do you not punch them in the face? Because they couldn't deal with it. And I was like, well, they're not mad at me.
Right.
they're mad at the situation. They're mad at the stupid stuff you got to fill out. They're just they're expressing it.
Yeah.
And listen, I wish they didn't yell at me, but I was able to detach what's being said by how it's being said.
Fair.
And understand you're not mad at me. And taking that into restaurants, that made my life a lot easier. Because I could be
helpful.
like, you're frustrated with your family. You're not mad at the food. You're not mad at me. You're not mad at the situation. You're pissed off at
something out there.
Your kid made a mess that we have to, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're mad at your wife right now. You're not mad at me.
Oh, yeah. Love those tables.
So that's that was a bit of a thing to take with.
Well, here's another perspective from the customer.
Okay.
Please.
But a customer who loves to cook and likes a challenge. So if that had happened to me, I would take the shrimp and say, okay, what can I do with it?
Wait, bring it home?
Yeah?
No, well, in the restaurant.
Okay.
Say, well, maybe if I add a little bit more salt, because as we all know, or as we all should know, salt unlocks flavor. It's not just good for hypertension. So, if I put a little bit more salt and I do this and I do this, would it be okay then? Now, what I would have done in that specific situation is I would have brought the shrimp home. This is bonus content, y'all. I would have brought the shrimp home. I would have taken all the breading off. I would have made a pot of grits. Then you take the shrimp and you let the grits cool a little bit because you don't want to overcook the shrimp because you're going to cook them more. But you take your grits, let them cool a little bit, mix in the shrimp, and you take that and you form it into kind of like a loaf.
Oh.
And then you put it in the fridge, let it get nice and solid. Then the next morning, you take the loaf out and you cut that into slices, and then you fry that. So you have
fried grits.
Fried grits for shrimp.
Oh, yeah.
The fucking best thing ever. And I'm not even a Southerner. I don't know where I'm talking to, but it's amazing. It's amazing. Fried grits is fucking amazing.
The camera's in camera.
Sorry. Keep going.
Yeah, so bonus content. So
Write
when
that
life
one down.
gives you unseasoned shrimp, make shrimp loaf.
Thank you. Solved. Okay. See, we're solving the world's problems.
One
One
problem
episode at a time.
It's funny, real talk, though. I've been to a restaurant that I didn't like the steak. I didn't think it wasn't seasoned well. It wasn't, I didn't like it. And instead of complaining, instead of doing anything, I literally said to my boyfriend at the time, I was like, "We'll just take this home and I'll make it better."
Exactly.
Like, I'll just, like, at the end of the day, I'm buying the steak. I ate the sides, and I had whatever. I'm still buying the steak. I'm just going to go take it home, and I know I can cook. Apparently that cook in the back couldn't, but I know I can.
No, I agree.
And I'll go home and I'll make something with it. And I went home and I made my own little steak dish with it. I don't remember what it was. I didn't do grits back then, but
I totally
yeah,
agree.
I absolutely like what you said. I was like, I'll take it home and I'll handle it myself.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's how I think, but I always thought maybe I'm biased because I'm a server, so I come from that different perspective. I would never go in a restaurant and say, "You didn't season this right. Take it off my bill." I'd be mortified, like embarrassed to say stuff like that.
Now I'm going to counterpoint this. Okay, now I'm very curious, and I'm curious if we're doing a disservice on this. And I say we because I'm assuming your answer on this one. When something doesn't taste good, and the server comes by and says, "Hey, how is everything here?" How often do we just go, "Oh, everything's fine.
Every time.
Everything's great."
Every
when
time.
it's not. Now, are we doing a disservice by not telling them that, hey,
Because where's that information going to go once you tell them?
I don't know, because I know we've been out to dinner one time and like,
No, we've been out to dinner multiple times, Jeff.
I think I remember
Over
that.
the last 4 years, we've had dinner out multiple times.
A quick example I'm thinking of is we got bruschetta out somewhere, which was clearly for me because you don't like raw tomatoes. So we get bruschetta, and I'm eating it, and the tomatoes are white. Like, they're not ripe tomatoes.
Oh, no.
They're not ripe at all. They're way pale in color. They're hard because they're not.
Yeah, they're not ripe.
And so it's just one of those, like, and they're like, "How is everything?" And it's just like, this isn't good. Like, I'm annoyed that you served this.
Yeah.
Why would you chop up these tomatoes and pretend these are edible tomatoes? So, like, in that situation, I feel like you kind of have to be, because if I say everything's fine, then they're just going to keep serving
But as a server, you're then assuming that the server is going to go to the cook or the manager.
I mean, that's the tough thing on it.
Or whoever and repeat that information. And as a server, I don't always do that.
Yeah,
I'm like,
that's the tough thing.
I'm so sorry that you don't appreciate that. Have a great day. And I go about my business because...
As a server, it would hit or miss on what the issue was. But if I thought that it's something that the kitchen needs to know, sometimes in the passing, I'd walk back to the kitchen and be like...
As a customer?
No, as a server, back when I was a server.
I was like, wow.
As a customer,
I'd walk... real bold.
I'd be like, these tomatoes? How dare you? No, but sometimes, like, as a server...
All right.
I'd swing back through the kitchen and be like, hey, heads up. Table so-and-so says
That's
this.
fair.
Just if you want to do something about it or not, that's on you.
Okay. With grits, like in my restaurant, if a table says the grits are, overcooked or they're this or they're that.
Yeah.
But first, I'll ask other girls, hey, have you had any complaints about the grits today?
That's fair.
And they're like, no. And I don't repeat it because obviously your palate is messed up and I'm not going to go tell my kitchen that they fucked up grits.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that also falls on, and we'll talk on experience on this real quick, on getting information back to the kitchen. On the setup of the kitchen. So obviously I worked in a lot of different restaurants, and one thing I liked about working at the fancier hotel in the restaurant was you had an expediter.
Yeah, you
talk to the expediter. Yep. And by the way, we'll get into, on another episode, we will explain what an expediter is, because they are the heart and the brain of that kitchen.
If you have one.
If you have a good expediter, you want, like... Oh, man, back at the hotel, one of my other managers would try to expedite, and the exec chef was like, never.
Please stop.
He can't. Jeff, you can. But it has to be one of the other chefs or like me and one other manager could expedite.
Right.
Because if you don't get it, you don't get it. But it's so if you have that set up, so like you're not just, because here's the thing, cooks are working. Mm-hmm. Cooks are cooking. Cooks be cooking. And so, like, if you're trying to, as a server, be like, excuse me, you're bogging shit down, you're bothering people. So, like, you need to have a point of contact. And if it's a chef in the kitchen, if it's an expediter in the kitchen, you can say as a server, you can go in and be like, heads up, this is the latest thing I heard. Mm-hmm. Do with it what you want. I'm going back out. And then they can give that to who needs that information.
Yeah.
But if you don't have that network, then... It becomes chaos, and then you're less likely to tell people.
For sure. I mean, and what you describe is almost a utopian restaurant.
Yeah. Ideal situation.
Practically, no. That sounds all good, but it doesn't work.
Did you guys have an expediter back in the Mexican restaurant?
No, that would have been wonderful, but we barely had kitchen space. We
and that's,
definitely didn't.
I get it.
Yeah.
But yeah, having somebody organize those tickets,
so helpful.
Calling what's needed, saying this is the next table. When you're busy, it gets you through, and it keeps the kitchen organized.
Yep.
It keeps the front of a house organized. It is invaluable.
I will say, even though we didn't have an expediter, the guys that worked there had all almost been there for years.
So they worked well together.
And they worked very well together, which, a restaurant, especially in the back, is very much a team effort.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But one of the things that always fascinated me about those guys is, even though we did not have a dedicated expediter, one guy would come into the window and would say, this is what we need, this is what we need, this is what we need. And this was back in the day when there were tickets. You were not reading anything off of an electronic board.
Yeah, we still have tickets.
Yeah, we did tickets.
Well, that guy would walk off. He would grab something and walk off. And then someone completely different who did not just hear what he said, they would walk in and do the exact same thing.
That's an amazing
and
system.
Not gum up the system.
Oh, that's good.
That's
good.
And, so I remember, and I still do that. You know this. I still do this today. I love to watch a kitchen, whether it's a clusterfuck or whether it is poetry in motion.
Yeah.
I love to go somewhere where I can watch the kitchen just because it just fascinates me.
It's a dance.
It is.
No,
you and I have said that multiple times. Where it is a very well choreographed dance, and one person makes a misstep, and then the whole system just goes to shit.
Yeah.
Yep, like a house of cards.
Yeah.
Oh, that's real.
Yeah.
So, all right.
Excellent.
Well,
Excellent topic.
Yes.
topic,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that's been on my mind for a minute. I wanted feedback because I only have that one perspective, and to me, I'm like, are you fucking retarded? No, sorry. Are you crazy?
Are you special needs?
Straight up, because what are you doing right now?
But I think
thank
you
you.
probably read it right on the situation.
For that specific
Yeah,
one, yeah.
specifically, yeah.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
There's too much food on the table. She didn't want the shrimp. They had enough chicken. Oh, for sure. No, you can read them off the bat.
Yeah.
But whatever. It is what
Yeah.
it is.
Well, hopefully people take something from this.
I hope
I
so,
don't know what-
please.
Yeah, they're going to take my shrimp loaf recipe and make it,
Yeah,
right?
I'm gonna
Right,
make
everybody? You're going to make my shrimp loaf? Although even though I don't want to call it shrimp loaf, that sounds disgusting for whatever reason.
Shrimp loaf is what comes out after you eat it.
No,
Ew.
nope, I'm not high-fiving. No.
It was on my
Boy
camera.
humor.
I did that.
No.
All right. Well, that's another
We're
episode.
going to end on that. Thank you so much for being here.
What a shitty ending. Double pun.
Oh, my God. Turn it off now.
Another episode of
Serving you.